Hello and welcome to our edition of Inside Bremerton. I'm here with some Olympic College Performing Arts faculty and students, and right now I have Professor Hagan and John Cameron Rutherford with the program, and we're going to chat a little bit about, right now you guys are in the production of a short film, which I understand is the first time that Olympic College has actually put together a short film. So we want to talk about that. Of course, you're a professor in the program and you are the director of the short film. A little later we'll hear from some actors. So let's just get started and say, you know, what classes do you currently teach at Olympic College?
Right now, Christina, I'm teaching the acting for the camera classes and the screenwriting classes. The production that we're currently involved in is sort of the first fruits of a new program. About 2.5 years ago, Olympic College made the decision to reframe the drama program. It had been a traditional theater arts program, and we decided to reframe it, and I was brought in to do this, as a more contemporary model. The more contemporary model that we're seeing emerging on the coast are much more responsive to the contemporary dramatic artist. And what we do is we cross-train people to work in both stage and screen simultaneously. Because frankly, this is the way artists make a living today.
Right.
I went to a very traditional theater arts school. I'm a graduate of the Yale School of Drama, and I worked for the Yale Repertory Theater. And within a year of leaving the Yale Repertory Theater, I was under contract to Universal as an actor. And I was in that position simply because I had to make a living. And it's very difficult to just make a living exclusively in theater. In fact, many actors, many writers, many directors are actually financing their theater career by working in film and television. So the most responsive new programs, principally that are on the coast at the moment, are cross-disciplinary in nature. It's the new model. And Olympic College decided about 2.5 years ago to move to this model. So what we're seeing with this film is the first fruits of this new program, because this film was written by a screenwriting student.
Interesting.
It's directed by John here, who's a student, a production student, a screenwriting student at Olympic College. It's being acted by our acting for the camera students, so it's an all-student production. All of these folks have been trained at Olympic College. And we're going to have a series of films. This is going to be ongoing. This is just the first fruits of it.
Right. So if I understand correctly, the program really encourages people to be cross-trained in all directions so that they can not only make it as an actor or an actress, but they can also learn about producing and they can learn about writing and all the different facets of filmmaking.
Absolutely. And we want to be totally responsible to the vision of the future.
Right.
I mean, theater was the principal vehicle of drama in the 19th century. In the 20th century, we had a transition into film and television as the principal vehicles of drama.
Right.
And right now, as we stand on the doorstep of the 21st century, we see that a new platform is about to emerge. It will be some sort of virtual reality platform. In Hollywood, it's being referred to as industry convergence.
Right.
Because we're seeing gaming and we're seeing concepts of film and television and virtual reality. It's all coming together. So we're about to see a new kind of platform that will replace the primary vehicle of drama in the 21st century. Yeah,
it's so interesting to me, and I noticed with you, John, that you also have some history with the graphic, some kind of a graphic designing type media type stuff, and it's so interesting to me. That really is what we will see films be. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, or tell me a little bit about that. How, you know, filming is really, you know, it's like, it's electronic and it's, you know, half of it's done in this, you know, on a computer instead of actually, you know, on stage. It's really interesting. Can you share any thoughts on that or how you were trained? Were you trained at Olympic College on those things?
I had some experience before coming to Olympic College, but a lot of my video education has come from the school. They offer a very good video program at Olympic College, and they've also got a motion graphics course, which you learn this program that you can integrate, you know, motion graphics or, you know, change the color or look of a scene, or, you know, take out a background, put the actor in front of a new one, that type of thing. It's a great process to learn how to, you know, work in a post-production environment and a production environment as well.
Right, interesting. So are you guys experimenting with that in this film you're making right now?
Yes, we are. There are actually going to be quite a few shots that are going to convert shots that were done during the day into the nighttime. And almost every shot that you see in any motion picture that you go to in the cinemas, they've got some form of, you know, color grading or color correction to make the picture just pop.
Right.
If you actually looked at, you know, a film as it was shot, it's not going to be anything too remarkable, but after the trained technicians have gotten to it, it's just going to look like a piece of art, really.
Right. So tell me a little bit about this process of this making the short film. Now, first of all, I mean, how does that come about? You guys select a screenwriter or a script.
Sure. What happens is in my screenwriting classes, they have a variety of assignments, of course, that are due. At a certain point, after some initial training, and they learn the basic paradigms of deep story structure, they learn about character development and various elements of screenwriting.
Interesting.
I will accept 20-minute submissions, 20 to 30-minute submissions, just to be financed by the college. And the college has been very generous. They've given us quite a bit of money.
Great.
And we're now getting the first script submitted, and this goes before a board of faculty in the Fine Arts Department, and we all review the scripts. We may have a development meeting or two with the writer where we might make some suggestions, have them come back, develop the script a little more.
It's the real deal.
It's the real deal. We try to handle it
Comes
just
back
like...
all marked up.
Exactly. Just like it's what we call a development meeting in Hollywood. In Hollywood, the people you work with are what we call development executives.
Right.
And they're helping you develop a fully fleshed out story.
Right.
So the faculty takes the position.
Selects the script, excuse me, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This committee. And once it's approved, then we try to find a talented person who we feel is ready to direct, as we found in John,
Right,
a
that
student.
was my next question.
Because
Perfect.
the idea here is that it's all OC students. And we're going to take these films and they're going to go into film festivals and film contests as student films. So they're written by students that are trained at OC. They're acted by students that are trained and are acting for the camera classes. People like John are trained in our production classes. He's also studied screenwriting and acting for the camera at OC. And this becomes the fruits of the labor of the program.
Well, that's what I was just going to say. How cool to have a program where you actually have this material, tangible thing when you're all done. That this is, this is what the results of what these people learned, and also to begin growing, because you learn so much in the process. Which was what I was going to ask you. How has that been as kind of the leader of this production of this short film, and how did you select the actors and actresses and your group? How has that been?
Well, with casting, I got together with the writer. We were fortunate at the time because she was still in town. She's moved away now, but we got together and set up auditions at the school and advertised in the theater department and to also former Olympic College students. And she and I would have them, go out on stage and read a piece from the script, and we'd also have them come out in groups and see how different combinations of people worked out together, because you're not just casting two performances, you're casting a relationship. That's really important, because on-screen chemistry doesn't happen in a vacuum. You can have two great performances, but if they don't, combine together to make something greater than that, you're just not going to have a very compelling movie.
Right. So how has that been? Was this, I'm assuming, is your first time directing a film, or maybe not? Am I safe to assume that sort of a little bit?
In a professional view, that's correct. But
you've been around it quite a bit, it sounds like.
Yeah, I've done a few small
Especially for them
projects.
To say that you were ready for that. Absolutely. So have you noticed that you're honing your skills, though, a lot by just going through the process?
Yes, yes. This is the most organized I've ever been in this type of project. And
thanks to the,
yeah, you really learn what you need to prepare and how much preparation it actually takes.
Right.
I mean, people think it's just showing up and, shooting on the day. The day is probably going to be, the easy part. You've got a lot of, pre-production you have to worry about, like where are you going to shoot, what are the lighting conditions going to be, the feasibility of it, and, all sorts of different things, equipment, people, scheduling. It all takes a lot of planning and preparation.
Well, now just about how much time, because that's interesting to me. I mean, this is really a passion of the people that are involved, I would imagine, given that they do this on their personal time. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, so this actually, how much time would you say that, you know, is expected of those students outside, you know, on a weekly basis, outside of their normal commitments? It's probably several hours, 10, 15 hours maybe?
Sounds about right. If we can work around, you know, work schedules and things like that, 15 hours, it sounds about right. Possibly more for the director trying to, you know, plan and organize.
Right. And how is that being a leader of your own peers? Is that kind of an interesting, you know, thing, or has that came really naturally for you, or?
Well, I've kind of
or
been
a great learning experience.
I've been in a leadership position before, so I'm kind of used to having to, you know, motivate people and try to get the best results out of them. So in that regard, it wasn't that unusual, but it's interesting the play of the dynamics between the different people and just trying to figure out how to get one person to do what they need to do and get another person to do it. It's really just comes to knowing, you know, who you're working with and developing a good relationship with them.
Absolutely. Well, what a great, you know, like, you know, a great place to just learn all of those things, and it just goes so much farther beyond the classroom, which is so impressive.
Yeah, and John's done a wonderful job. I've admired from afar the feel that he creates on the set. He creates a very relaxed atmosphere where people are having fun. It's a very creative atmosphere, and we're very proud of the job that John's doing.
Yeah.
You brought up a point that I think I'd like to emphasize. When projects like this are complete, one of the great values for our students is that the director now has footage on himself that he can help use to initiate a career. So does the screenwriter.
Exactly.
So do the actors. Can take footage, can edit it into what we call a reel, which is so important for actors trying to initiate a career. Furthermore, the soundtrack is being written by OC music students.
Oh, interesting.
And performed by. It's being composed and performed by OC students. So this becomes a showcase for all of our students that they're able to use to go out and initiate careers.
Right, absolutely. That is so cool. Now, can I ask real quick, is this your career goal, or just
yes, this is what I want to do.
Specifically directing, or just performing arts in general and filmmaking?
Writing, directing, filmmaking, mostly writing and directing.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you so much, Professor and Director is what I will call you right now. We will be back after this short break with a few actors from the film and talk a little bit more about their perspective on the performing arts program and what they're doing. Welcome back to our Inside Bremerton show with the Olympic College Performing Arts students. We're now here with a few of the actors in the short film that is currently being produced. I'm here with Ashley, who plays the lead Chloe in the film, Zach, who plays the lead Logan in the film, and then Alecia, who plays a supporting role as Heather and has also been kind of, I was heard a gopher on the set. So we're going to have a quick little conversation about that. So welcome, you guys.
Thank
you. First of all, you know, tell me what the film is about. We chatted with the director and the professor, and I forgot to ask that very important question. So.
Well, it's a supernatural piece, but we don't know. You know, that's kind of a surprise. You know, we won't say how it's supernatural. You just kind of have to figure it out for yourself. But in any case, it's about Logan here, who is kind of a loser in high school, and I come along all cool from Cali, and I pick him up and get him back on his feet, and you know, get him to conquer his fears and all that. So he, it's making a hero out of him, basically.
In a supernatural way.
Right.
In a supernatural way.
Right.
It's really, it's for me, it's kind of like not who I am like in life. So that's really why I'm glad I got it. Because when I first got casted, I got casted as a bully. And his name was Brad.
And you said, that is who I am in life, so I want to play out of that. No, I'm
well, maybe not so much a bully, but just someone who's, I have a little more confidence, you know. And this guy really doesn't have any confidence at all. And where I took him as an actor was he's just broken, you know. And he gets, you know, he gets one girl in the first scene kind of kind of getting to do this dare, so I'm trying to impress her. And then the next night or the 2 nights later, it's kind of the same situation with her. So it's kind of like repeating, and you go through this journey of this character who gets taken into a world he's never been before, and he's seeing things like nobody's believing him. And I'm trying to get people to believe me, and they're just not believing me. They think I'm a baby. They think I'm crazy, you know. So it was really interesting and fun, yeah.
That's so interesting. You know, I'm always so fascinated by that when you see actors talk about the roles that they've played and how they talk about being that person. And it's so interesting to hear you say, you know, how you've taken on, you know, and you're going through this. It's almost, is that kind of the way it goes? I mean, you almost take on that as an alternative personality to be able to play that role. Definitely. And what's that process like when you're coming into your role?
Well, it was actually really hard for me for this one because usually I am kind of like Chloe, but at the time I was going through a transitional phase and I was just in a really deep depression, and I was amazed I even got cast, you know, so excuse me. Eventually I had to force myself out of it and find my confidence somehow, and then it just happened one day, and I just carry it around with me now. So
right, so the role almost helped you come to a place in your life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Interesting by taking on that. Now, Alecia, what, tell me about your character Heather in the film. Is that a smaller piece, not the lead?
It is a smaller piece, and I think a lot of it, I would totally agree with Zach in the fact that I'm not anything like this character.
That's fun.
I actually am a bully now. So, well, some would say I'm not like that character.
Oh, yeah, I'm seeing lots here. We might have just gotten something hot. Okay. We'll talk about that in the next piece.
No, it's been really interesting. This character, I've had a lot of room to do a lot of background work myself. So that's really interesting for me. I was able to create a whole backstory and that kind of thing. So I think that really helped bring my character out.
So you literally, when you say create a backstory, what do you mean? You literally research about that person who you are going to become, or you kind of...
I think it's more so kind of dealing with, the way we work is a lot with method acting, and method acting teaches a lot about, there's a lot of personal things that you use. That's why a performance is so different from every actor. That's what creates the character. You are the character. Once we get the role, I am Logan, you know, she is Chloe, she is Heather. And we take our own personal material, the stuff that has caused us pain, the stuff that's caused us to laugh and cry and to be angry. That's what makes it so real. It's not really acting the part or memorizing lines. It's just, it's becoming that character and being able to be free and spontaneous. And a lot of that is just, it takes time to, you spend a lot of time working on that.
That's that chemistry piece that the director John was talking about with, you know, you can have somebody play this role and you think, wow, that's the right role, but how does it match up?
Right.
Exactly. What kind of a role is it when it's with somebody else? That's interesting. So tell me, because I know that it's a smaller production, what are some other, you know, the actor part is the glam part, but as the professor was talking about, this is a, you know, very, you know, multifaceted education you're getting.
I can tell you
arts.
This.
So yeah, tell me your other fun jobs on set and part of that production.
I play two different roles, and I had to get mucked up, and it was to make it look like I was covered in feces. So yeah, no.
That's an inside. That's a little supernatural.
Awkward.
Awkward.
So that was fun.
Yeah.
Now, what did you use?
It was coffee grounds mixed with water and
peanut butter.
And peanut butter. Yeah.
And dirt.
And dirt.
They're all smiling. They had fun. It was a fun time. Fun was had by all. Huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked at myself and just laughed. So you know.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Very good. Yeah, I can't say I've done that, but I'll try it later. So yeah, tell me now, what other roles do you play on the set?
I'd pretty much tell John what to do, the director. That's kind of how I roll. You know?
Right.
I just, you know.
Right.
No. Really, for me, I was really just dedicated to doing, as an actor, being prepared for that. I just spent a lot of time working on that. If there was something needed to be done that I seen that I was not in, I'd be more than willing to help. But for the most part, I was really just trying to concentrate on, you know, Logan, because he's the vehicle that you're seeing the story through, you know, my eyes and how I'm, you know, going through this stuff. So it was really important that I stay focused on that.
Right, right. And you gave us a little insight into that bully thing. I tell the director what to do. That's nice. Good. Very good. And then Alecia, now I was also, you were supporting and a gopher, so I quote, so do tell.
So
you might have more responsibility behind the scenes than the other two actors.
For me, it's actually really been a great opportunity to learn about the entire process. I mean, just things like I've been able to learn a little bit about how the sound boom works, and I've been able to learn a little bit about editing by, you know, taking time codes and stuff like that. So really, they may have seen it as me helping, but really I was just trying to suck the knowledge out of them. So that's been a lot of fun. Yeah, it's been a great learning experience, I think, on all aspects.
Wanting to learn the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. Very, very interesting. So how many takes do you guys have to go through usually?
One
on
for
average? So we've got the overachiever.
Well, I like I think with John, he wants to get a range of certain things. So I was really
good.
Yeah. I mean, the 1 is good if you can get it, but 3 or 4 is really good because you now have more of choices to pick from, and to kind of, when you go to edit, you can put those together, because normally what we film is not what's going to be on the screen and what people are going to see.
Right.
It's completely different. So the stuff that there's things that we never even did that's going to be on there, which is weird. That's where the editing comes in. That's where John's mind comes in. He starts piecing everything together.
Playing with things.
Yeah.
So interesting. So really there isn't an order or you know, as far as when you actually go to see the finished film, or the, you know, previous to it being finished but put together, the order that the film actually goes in is not at all the order that you
Usually
filmed
it's never
it
in order, yeah.
Interesting. So it's almost like you really are going to the theater when you see your first
Exactly.
film for the first. It's like, wow,
and a lot of
really came together nicely.
And a lot of that is just having to do with location. For most, you know, when you're filming, it's location. You shoot all the scenes there, and that time using as much lighting as you can there as well. It's just, when you get in the bigger stages of Hollywood, it's money becomes the issue. So then you have to do everything in that kind of an order, because you know the powers that be are funding it, so you have to do things in that with that much money. So
right. Interesting. So we were told that you might spend about 15 hours outside of. No, really. Tell me what the prep work is like especially for a lead role. What is that like? I mean, how much energy do you have to put into that?
Well, there was definitely a lot more hours put in before we started production, because we were
getting to know the character.
Yeah, exactly, getting to know the character, and just spending, you know, every night before you go to sleep, just getting dynamically relaxed and trying to find something else that you might have missed about that person, and try to incorporate it into this whole, you know, mock-up of what you have of them. So, and just try to incorporate it into your being. So, in any case, yeah. I don't know.
Lots of prep work.
Yeah.
Lots of discipline.
Well,
it sounds like. I don't know that I'm that disciplined.
See, and that's where you know, hanging out with, being in class with Tim is so important, because he teaches you through the method acting. We have what's called dynamic relaxation, and that is where you're.
I could use a little of that.
Yeah, it's actually you could. It really works. It's kind of the way, if you think about an athlete, the way they train. How they get prepared to go out, or a ballerina, stuff like that. This is some of the stuff that he's, you know, examples he's taught us. But for an actor, this is how we relax. This is how we look completely, you know, relaxed on the outside, but the inside there's energy. Just we're ready to go, hit every emotion, and that's where we're able to hit that stimulus. I think it was Stella Adler who said that talent is an open-end nerve. So when you're relaxed, you can hit that. But when you're thinking about 8 million things at once, you can't hit those emotions, because your mind is going everywhere.
Right.
So for me, it took me, I think I read the script about 30 times, just over and over, just trying to get a feel of the flow of the scene, and seeing where Logan is coming from. And then I jumped in and I was like, you know, this guy's had a troubled past. This is my backstory. He doesn't know his father. You know, he had trouble there. So he's got a lot of, you know, trust issues. And then when I'm on set, a lot of people think, what is he doing? He's sleeping. Well, I'm trying to stay relaxed as much as I can, even during cuts. I'm taking every minute. I'll go through and I'll feel through the building to make it personal to me. That way it can be real.
Right.
You know,
right.
not
And, and when you're going scene to scene, you shoot one and it's, wow, that was really real. And then you can't come back and have come from a different place, because then it's not that's transparent.
Exactly. And that's actually part of the acting, is we do an exercise where what happened before now, what situation were we in before this, that kind of push us forward into the next scene. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So you mentioned one of the techniques that you've learned in the classes. Tell me a little bit about, and well, tell our audience, because I'm sure that people watching this are going to say, wow, that's one heck of a program. And, you know, what kind of advice or what kind of things have you, you know, picked up from those classes that are really unique or just been really good time spent for you?
Just the whole dynamic relaxation. Mainly, I had been comfortable with meditation beforehand, but dynamic relaxation is totally different.
Different deal.
Yeah. Well, first off, you want to, you know, get relaxed, and during that time, you want to go to your place of perfect relaxation, and then just kind of corrupt it with whatever you need to drive a scene, you know, and.
Corrupt it. That's the part I don't do. I'm not corrupting.
Well,
okay.
I mean,
no, that was good. I liked
it's perfect, and then nothing's ever perfect, so you know, it has to be done. In any case, but yeah, you should keep a journal and log all of these things, and you want to keep revisiting that same stimuli because you know you change and you know over time, and that same stimuli may bring out different things for you, and so I mean, I've always kept journals and always. Been writing was one of my other loves, you know. And I took Tim's script writing.
Oh, good. Okay.
Class. So yeah, I mean, I wish I had time to take more, but I was trying to get my associates.
Yeah.
In any case.
And successful, it sounds like.
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So, question then: career goals. I'll start down here with Alecia. Tell me.
Yeah, I would definitely like to do this full-time. I think for now I'll do something to live and then live to live. So I'm going to continue doing this as much as possible. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So when you say
It's
doing
definitely a
this, is there a
passion.
particular, is it acting specifically, or is it just being entirely involved in that film process that you're learning?
So far it's acting. My past experience is with theater, so this has been a super challenge for me to kind of bring down my facial expressions and all of that kind of thing to a level that's appropriate for film. So far I really like this. This is my first experience with it.
Very good.
And I think next quarter I'll take a video production class and see how like the videography side of it
Very
goes.
cool. And acting?
I also took the screenwriting class too, so I'd like to start my career off doing acting and then kind of maybe finish down the road with screenwriting.
And it sounds like ditto, maybe a little bit
Yeah,
there.
I'm interested in so many things though. Like I do definitely want to be involved in the entertainment industry no matter what, but you know, I've got so many
There's
things
so much
that,
to learn.
yeah, up my sleeve. Like I mean, I want to design clothing, I want to model, I want to study astronomy, you know, I mean, I don't know. Oh, well.
I need to talk to this gal.
I'll be a scholar.
All right. No, this is interesting. Well, good. Last question real quick, and we need to wrap up, is when will this be available, and will the public be able to see it?
You know, that's a good question.
A few months, right?
Yeah, it's a process. The acting, you have pre-production, production, and post-production.
Right.
We're in production right now, and then post-production takes a while for the editing.
We're about ready to wrap up with production, right?
Good.
Yeah, we got
Good.
about
well, let us
3
know.
scenes left. Yep.
All right.
We will.
Thank you for joining us on Inside Bremerton, and on behalf of myself and everyone here at Bremerton Kids Up Access TV, have a great day.